out really quick. Nobody's here at the moment. And get that set up. Here we go. All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. Let's get this going here. I accidentally bumped the go button before I was ready, so we're just going to go anyway. So while we're waiting for people to mosey on in, I'm going to go ahead and get the loop set up here and playing. And while that's playing, I'll let a few people file in. You can, I'll take a little peek with eyes that see and see what's going on in there for a minute. I will be right back to get this show on the road here. Give me just 1 minute while a few people file in here. Whoever's in the chat room, take control for 30 seconds until I get back here. Because I bumped the live button before I was ready. And, well, we're already going here, so I just gotta make sure everything else is all good to go. All right, yeah, you guys, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking a moment of your time to be here with this precious family. As you can see, we've had some activity going on right there. Go ahead and take a look at that real quick, and I'll be right back. Well, okay, here we go. Let's get this show on the road. Sorry about that. Went live accidentally. I was not prepared. And wonderful touchscreens. Push a button all day long and it won't work. You accidentally bump it and you go live. So here we are. Let me just plug this in so we have power throughout the show. I don't want that going down. All right, here we go. Please. All right, so here's our date. Here we are, September 2nd, 2024. And I'll just let that loop play. As you can see, there's multiple CMEs coming out of here. You see this little object come out, and then another one hit it and push it even further. And push it on out. Okay, so yeah. Hi, Angel Wings. Yes, welcome to Crazy Town. Now you see why this stuff's so important. Okay, so let me just I think we're a little too zoomed in here. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, let me capture this opening frame and we'll go to town here. Back up a little bit, right? All right, so closing frame is 21:24, so we're missing a couple hours there. But as we get into our opening frame, 024, this is the opening frame of the second. Remember last night we were looking at this solar ham. Please pull up here. We were looking at this, and then we tried to look into the second, and there was nothing. So here we go into the second right here. So as we go, you can see already a halo type CME already underway. And let me just slide down a little bit more so you guys get more screen. All right, as we go, you can see we have some kind of object moving out through this area, already creating a little CME. Then here comes another one. You can see our round black object leading the way right here in front of the little dip right here in the indicator. Well, the indicator there. The instrumentation. Then another one coming out. This weird little face. And then another CME coming out to like push this little object along. Give it a little shove and move it on out. And it's kind of best seen while in motion because our eyes detect motion a little bit better. But there's even more ejecta coming out trying to go into that spot. So go ahead and start that up. Let that play for a second. You see that eerie little, like, almost like a goblin face right there in that one frame. Actually, a couple frames there. Let's capture that really quick. Right there. Let me just zoom in really quick on this. Happy Halloween. Things are getting weird and crazy, huh? And there's more than meets the eye going on there. It's not just a couple of objects that happen to crisscross and make a shape of a face. We're going into October. Now, let me go ahead and zoom on out. One more. There we go. Hello, Leslie. Good. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for taking a moment of your time to be part of this family. All right, let's continue on. You can see that object was the second eye of that face. Okay, let me go ahead and put that back into motion. There we go. Oh, Anita, we're gonna have to get you a wrench. I need to get caught up on my homework and do some work on the chat room. Get you guys some wrenches finished off in there. Okay, so there's your activity for today, the second. All right, pretty sketchy activity, and this is the same region right around here where we had our X flare come out yesterday. Okay, so that data is yet to be posted. That we'll probably never get to see. So meanwhile, let's come on over here to Solar Ham. Our solar flux indice is at 274. We're almost at 300, you guys. It's up 29 more points to 274. Last time it got this high, it broke 300 and went to what, 336, I think, was the highest number that we saw on that. But that was quite a blast there. And since then, we haven't had anything that big in a while. So let's go ahead. Oh, also, sunspot number count 194. We're just 6 shy of busting 200 here and going into the red there. Thankfully, we lost a couple of sunspots. Meanwhile, the area is increasing. It's up into the 1300s, but still okay there. Meanwhile, let's get this opened up and zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so here's your crazy area of activity, 3842. Very weird configuration and very intense on each poles. Same with 3839, 3844. This whole blob right here is just wreaking havoc. And then also we have 3841 doing something up there. And then what everybody's been talking about, and we see rotating around the limb here. Yeah, that is a monster sunspot. You see how close the red and blues are and how big the blue patch is and how big the red area is? This thing is latched on to something out there. Something big is approaching or whatever and stirring up this magnetic field, causing this really big, huge sunspot. Now, it's going to shrink in a little bit of size because of the parallax effect. But that's still a huge sunspot, okay? Just because it's, parallaxing right now. When it rotates into view, it's still going to be a healthy size spot right there. Okay, are we on 200? Yes, okay, good. All right, so just a couple quick little looks around. 3836 and 3846 are departing the limb. But 3844, this little area right here, and this area, we have to watch all that. It's still not done. It's still roiling. All right, wait. No, we don't need that. We need this arrow over here. Okay, so let's slide and dip. All right, and find out how fluxed we are. X-ray flux, that is. So after yesterday's X 7.4, 7.1, I saw the readings of 7.4. But an X7, basically. Okay, we haven't seen a good size X flare like this in quite a while, and especially, heading towards Earth. All right, some of these X flares that we've seen later are, glancing blows are headed off behind the sun, and they still affect us. So this one heading towards us, okay? And you can see here's today's bumpy ride that we had. 3 different little M flares right out of that southern region again. Okay, and since then we've gone into this little activity. I can't wait until this satellite stops doing this. This little dip in data is getting a little old. So let's go take a little peek at this really quick. Come back here. There it is right there. Let me refresh. What? You don't want to see all that? Well, tough. We're going to see it anyway. All right, we got something coming out there and more activity still coming out of this region here. All right, so not much to look at, but still something going on right here. All right, now let's zoom on out and get this show on the road. Now, yesterday we were showing all clear geomagnetic storm for the next 3 days. Now, today, all of a sudden, things have changed. Tomorrow, we're expecting a G1. On the 4th, a G3 possibly, and then remnants of that trailing off to G2 after that. So as we look, X flare potential up to 35%. That's more like it. That's what I think it should be right around there. M flare potential 75. That could be higher because we just had 3 of them. But anywho, proton event 35% chance. We still haven't seen any kind of proton event yet. So this has been kind of a different little X type flare here. Meanwhile, you can see over here your aurora is pretty quiet for right now. Okay, they're there, but they're very weak and quiet. Okay, let me come over here, open up this. All right, your KP index, very quiet, even though it says unsettled, it's very quiet right now, getting down to below KP2, almost to KP1 here. Okay, but I expect this to change here pretty soon in the coming days because we have this inbound geomagnetic activity coming in. Okay, so it's already a little unsettled, and I expect we'll see pretty healthy, good event there. If it's a G3 on the 4th, well, we'll probably see, some red, a KP of 8 or 7, maybe even a little higher. Especially in X7, I'm thinking we might see, a KP of 9 or something. Almost those auroras like we saw down to mid latitudes, especially if we have our field weakened right prior to it. Now, let's get on over here. 3848 is beta delta. We have this 3844 beta delta and growing. 3843 is beta gamma and growing. And then the bad boy is 3842, which is beta gamma delta and still growing. Okay, so it's not done decline. It hasn't finished yet. It's still growing. Hasn't started declining yet. So, and then also 3841 with beta delta. What's odd is these beta deltas. Okay, there's 3 of them. Usually it's beta gamma. The delta configuration comes in at the very end, but these are already beta delta, which is a different, usually it's beta gamma first. Okay, so we're getting some different configurations with this 44, 41, and 48. All right, let's get into this article really quick. Minor G1 and too strong G3 geomagnetic storm watch is in effect beginning late on October 3rd into the 4th when the faint halo CME associated with the X 7.1 solar flare is predicted to pass Earth. Now, Aurora Skywatcher should be alert beginning Thursday night. Let's get this open really quick here. Start doing this tracking. All right, first, I'm sure you all have seen these over at Wages, but we're going to cover this anyways. Oh, that one's not showing the big wave now, but I guess it's this one now. Because I want to be able to control the instrument a little bit here. Just give it a sec to load. And here we go. So, load this one up now, please. Thank you for your patience, you guys. It's not easy doing a show without all the technical support and stuff. All right, here we go. Here's impact right here, midday the 4th and 5th. You see it coming out, coming straight at us. Okay, straight on impact. Bam. And a lot of it's going south, but we are still clipping the northern part of that of this event here. So let me just kind of capture right. There we go. And slide this back down. Okay, so very dense. They're, at 15, above 15, up to 20. So a lot of dense plasma, and the velocity, the speed, it's going to be kind of quick or whatever. So midway through the 4th to the 5th is when we're expecting impact. So that'll affect our weather as well. Any kind of activity going on that day will probably have quite a dramatic enhancement. Okay, let me back out of that and back on out of this. We all saw the movie yesterday, so let's move on really quick over to here. Got a lot to cover. So the geomagnetic storm watch for the G3, a CME is heading for Earth following the powerful X7.1 solar flare. Okay, so it is heading for Earth. NOAA models predict it will arrive on October 4th, potentially causing a strong G3 class geomagnetic storm. Okay, everybody take note. Here we go. We could be getting hit by an X7 causing a G3. The CME is quite faint and superficially wouldn't seem to pack the punch required for a strong storm. And at this time of year, however, even weak CMEs can be effective due to the Russell McPherson effect. Okay, the weakened magnetic field because of all the grinding going on down at the core. Comet went over Easter Isle. You can come check it out and read more about that. Let's get rolling here. As you can see, this is our latest square right here, and we're going across the page this way. Okay, so we are in a blast right now, and a strong one, because this instrument has a little bit further range. Can you see these readings over on the side here? Instead of stopping at 40, it goes up to 50. So this latest blast up here is off the charts at 50. I got to have this thing going across it. Anyways, it's way above the top of the charts here. Too bad you can barely see right above the field here. But it was a bumpy day. Here's your 7.83, your line going across. Do you see any disruptions in your 7.83 today? Oh, yeah, you do. And then this latest time has just been this intense, long, dragged out grinding event, driving people crazy. Okay, so a lot of pressure down below causing the core and the shell to grind pretty good right now. We just had some kind of release of pressure. You could see the dip come back down, tapering off, but then I see it coming back up here in red again. So we had a little something just happened, earthquake or volcano that released some pressure, and now it's starting to build again. What I need to do is get you guys over here to the null school, because we don't have that one pulled up yet. See, I told you I wasn't ready for a show. It's like, no, I'm not didn't want to go live yet. Tough, you're doing it anyway. All right, let me adjust for the winds here. Okay, lots of vortex activity going on up here. Look at this four-way little ding, ding, ding. Another one down here, kind of starting to grow. Coming over here, look at this thing off of the Kamchatka up there. And then we had that typhoon that just ravaged Taiwan. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the footage coming out of there yet, but man, Taiwan got hit. So China's been hit, Taiwan's been hit. All these places around the world are getting hit with severe weather. Okay, I think that might be about it on vortexes. There's little something down there. But pretty soon we'll get into, once kind of hurricane season is over, we'll get into our polar vortexes, okay? Everyone's ears popping constantly. Yeah, pressure changes a lot. And let's go ahead and put this into sand mode. All right, here we go. And I'll take the wind off for a minute. Now, you saw our difference in wind patterns. It's taking everything up and then circling it back around. So here's your sand plume coming way out and then doing a 180 and coming back in. You can see that vortex that was rotating has pulled up a bunch of sand right there. Meanwhile, it's all cleared out through this area. Okay, so very, very open, prime for any kind of convection because there's no sand hindering it right now. Meanwhile, all over the country here, we still got some sand, and it's drifting all the way across the Pacific. All right, then we got this side over here where we got Saudi Arabia, India. We got up here the Gobi Desert over by the Caspian Sea. This one has kind of diminished, and this eye is now getting a little stronger. So a little difference going on there. But for those with eyes that see, it's still there. And not too happy with this place right there, you can tell. Man, I saw some footage and the sky was screaming. You could hear screams coming from the sky, and the people were screaming. Oh my God, gnarly. All right, so let's get this over to the chemicals, to the SO2, and let's do our SO2 report. Okay, here we go, coming in for a landing. You can see our country divided here, bleeding out on one side because we got all kinds of soft crust, perforations all over the place. Even though we have flooding in this region, it's still coming up through the water. So this side, perforations in the crust, whoosh, there's your country divided. And, well, all because of our media, politicians, our fake history that we've been taught. And let's just get on into the fires too, shall we? Yeah, because this SO2 was causing fires up here in Canada. Now, that activity has actually shifted south now into the lower 48. Now, every little SO2 plume, these dark ones, starting to get a fire with them. And this fire activity is starting to grow and spread from Oregon into Idaho, even into like Wyoming a little bit there too, it looks like. Then it's traveling south. We got a fire here, Central California. I'm surprised there's not one there, but there's been a couple of fires here in Southern Cal caused by this. Now, this is sulfur dioxide coming out of the ground, super, super hot. Imagine just like vaporized magma that's so hot that it turned into a gas. So it comes out super hot, so hot that it causes stuff to spontaneously combust. Any kind of vegetation around the emission site will start a fire. Let's go ahead and take off the fires now. And continue on. As you can see, are we on now right now? Okay, good. Kind of similar activity than last night. Cuba, Jamaica, all these islands here bleeding out. Bingo! All volcanic islands emitting SO2 emissions because there's so much pressure down below that any kind of old volcanic site, even though it can't erupt magma, the gas is super fine and super, you can make it all the way through the little vents and cracks. So we're seeing SO2 out of volcanic islands. Coming down through South America, we see it all along the coastline. These are all individual sites. Come in here, check our fulcrum point really quick. It's doing pretty good tonight. Strong emissions there, especially on this second dot right there. That has definitely increased. Our dot on the other side still going pretty strong, and our new fifth little one still there. So indication that we got a little uptick in pressure going already. And you can see this dense area right here and the big plume that's coming out. Sometimes the size of this plume is a little indication that we just had a good push of pressure from down below. And you'll see a big plume, come out of this concentrated area and get pulled out into the Pacific. So every once in a while, when you see a good plume like that, it shows that a lot of pressure came up and pushed out a bunch of gas. Big fart. Big earth fart. Smells like rotten eggs. All right, here we go. Oahu still having pretty decent emissions. Same with Maui and Hawaii here. And if we could just get that one wavy line out of there. Here we go. All right, so good emissions out of Hawaii. This is the hub of the Pacific Rim. If this were a bicycle rim, this would be the hub, and it has to relieve pressure as well. So now as we come on over, I want to adjust for their time. Okay, so here we are, still strong emissions out of China region, all up through there. India still having strong emissions. You look over here at Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Turkey, all this area is starting to get, more and more emission sites, stronger and stronger. You can see there's a vortex up here pulling all this gas, blowing it all around. So meanwhile, I'd like to come in here and check Korea every once in a while, Japan, and Taiwan. Now, Taiwan just got hit with this massive typhoon, okay? So they're going to be out of the game for a while, and they have strong emissions coming out of this whole side of the island, and this is the populated side right here. So we need to see more fulcrum point activity here on the non-populated side, reducing some more of this pressure in the region. Meanwhile, some in the Philippines like to come down here and check out the purple island of Java. Now, the other day, this had lightened up, and now we're starting to see it fill in and darken up again. We need to see more earthquake activity in this area because our cold water inundation going along the shore has receded and is no longer there. It indicates that there's more pressure and more heat building up down below. Okay, so also here's something at Sumatra I wanted to point out here. It's all filling in, but it's these islands right here, okay? These islands just off of Sumatra are now starting to emit SO2, okay? And we've had earthquake activity at these islands now. Also, let's come on over to this region. Now, Tonga had the big quake, 6.8 yesterday, so we're seeing pressure coming out of the deep quake region. Here's Fiji having SO2 emissions. Okay, plate boundary system starts right here and then goes on up. I want to point out this little island right here with its SO2 emissions. When we get a good surge, there'll be a third little emission site up here. But for the meantime, we got two good strong emissions going on, indicating it's relieving a fair amount of pressure coming into that region. Okay, so now we got that. Let's get on over to our ocean sea surface temperature anomaly now. All right. And we'll get started. Well, since we're here in the Pacific, you can see our big patch here out by Tamumasi still, just very intense, very organized, kind of breaking up back at this end, but we still have a very hot spot right off of Japan and also surrounding the Korean Peninsula there. As we come in here to Java or Taiwan, you can see that the yellow coloring has receded in this area a little bit. There's a little bit trying to creep in through here, but it's not much. All right, we still have brown color down here, which cooler water, but we could still use some, well, some quake activity in this relief valve. As we come on down, you can see there's some yellow growing off of the coast in between Taiwan and the Philippines off here. So then we come down to Java, where we used to see cold water off the shore the whole time. Well, now we're only seeing just this little spot right here starting to grow yellow. So it's getting a little more and more intense around here. And we saw darker emissions coming out of this island. So there's your reason. And then coming up here to Sumatra, these islands, these were the ones having quakes. And then now we got a new hotspot. So a new island forming out here underwater. Got this little plume going right there. And looking around, same kind of looking activity as yesterday. Let's get up here to the Atlantic. Take a peek at this. There's your few little sketchy areas up in here, mainly down in here now, just off the coast of South America. All this area heating up. Okay, we still got hot water in the Gulf here too. Okay, so then over here to the Pacific side, our comma shaped structure, well, kind of changing its shape a little bit, but still there. And this fight of pressure build up and then release off of the Juan de Fuca here. You can see it come right out to the fulcrum point and then go up through here. So we still got pressure growing in that region. So come on down. There's a couple little hot spots here. But this area right here off the coast of LA right here has really receded in its color. It used to have yellow in it like this over here. And some of the big quakes and a lot of the SO2 emissions have reduced pressure there, as well as these other vents opening up nearby. The pressure that was building there now shifts and gets a new release, new path of least resistance. So a new opening site can reduce pressure at neighboring vicinities. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the winds back on. All right, so you can see your wind patterns taking control. Your thermal patterns taking control of the wind. Sorry, there we go. And going over to here really quick. Let's bring it over to the Atlantic really quick. All right, so there's all your gyre activity going on. And then you see right here this region, hot water, and you see this cold little patch right here. In between them, we're starting to see rotation. Also, we have this clockwise and this counterclockwise rotation pushing together, causing this like convergent zone or suck zone right through there, where it's pulling air all the way up from here, pushing it through there, sending everything kind of this direction towards Great Britain and Ireland, some stuff down here to Spain. All right, so a lot of different thermal activity changes, changing our air patterns too. And we still have this effect here where we're seeing, let's see how well we get good effect here. We're seeing here, we're seeing the intertropical convergence zone where air from the north blends and meets air from the south. There's a convergence zone right in there. But that's supposed to be down here at the equator. So our intertropical convergence zone, where the air from the north and the air from the south split, well, now they combine, and our convergence zone has shifted about 15 degrees north. All this activity where the north and south come together should be down here at this line. So you're getting air from the southern hemisphere coming up to this latitude. Something has changed. The earth shifted or tilted or something. Okay, so now we're going to leave it right there and hop into our earthquake report. And we'll be back to this as reference. Okay, let's get on into our regular report. So starting in our deep region, bingo. 4.5 down at 540. So there's one deep quake, our mid-range 4, typical activity that we're used to seeing, sent energy down this way into the catcher's mitt. And we got a 4.7 at 35 coming down this little ridge line right here. If you look here, there's a mountain ridge running here, and then a big wall that goes down to the ocean floor, and there's a big crack in the ocean floor down there. Okay, and then coming in on that. Now, as pressure tries to come into this, you can see where the crack starts. It just starts to open up and get really deep and then go into the crust. So we got this island right here, relieving pressure in the region. Usually a mid-range 4 causes 5 here at the surface. Pressure relieves, but we got a 5.2. This is at Vanuatu. This isn't a plate boundary quake like relieving energy. This is a different 5.2 down at 209 on the flank of this volcano. So there we go. There's different activity. That's not your typical 5 at the plate boundary. It's 5 down deeper at the volcano. Nothing through here. Very quiet through there. We need more activity on this little part around Java. We do have a quake here, but it's probably not enough. 4.7 down at 35. Okay. Yeah. All right, so 4.7 there, relieving some of the pressure in that region. We saw the coloration building, so now we're starting to see quake activity along with their volcanoes as well. Also pushing up through this region, not up to the fulcrum point, but at these pressure ridges that build here. This is almost a fulcrum point pushing this direction. And you can even see a little dent right there, bink, in the fracture zone. So that's the fulcrum point. Pressure's pushing this way. Didn't crack right on the boundary, but right behind it at these pressure ridges is 4.2 down at 98. And no fulcrum point quakes here, nothing through this whole region, and nothing through Europe. They're probably going to see, well, mid-range 4 creep in through this region. Nothing too big. Meanwhile, right here at the Philippines is a 4.7 down at 64, a 4.7 at 217. Those deeper values, deeper depths are, volcanic formations. And let's come over to this side. 3 at the Cocos Plate today, 4.4 down at 72, 4.5 at 35, and a 4.6 at 115. Just real quick, plateau area right on the edge. You can see this broken piece right here. This used to be a nice, smooth, solid piece. You can see breakaways here. You can see another breakaway there. See the landslide down at the bottom right there. Probably because there was a quake right here. Not necessarily this quake, but in the past, this weak spot has produced a quake and an underwater landslide. That's why I like to kind of check these every once in a while. You can also see that there's probably a river that comes off here. The water drains down through this area. But that's what I'm concerned about, is having a quake right on the edge right here that would cause an underwater landslide that could be a surprise tsunami, an unforecasted, unpredicted one. Meanwhile, fulcrum point quake 4.4 at 160 there. And I think we're done, except for a quick little magnitude check here, 3.7. a little higher in that region for right now, but that's okay. We'll take the relief of pressure. All magnitudes going into the USA. All right, we're getting a little microquake activity along the volcanoes here, so that's an indication pressure is building down below here when it starts to rattle the volcanoes. Meanwhile, out here on the inside of the fulcrum point, well, fulcrum point here, but inside plate, 3.6 at 17 and a 3.1. Other side, we got 2, and what's this? 2.8. Okay. 3.1. Yeah. 3.1. All right, so some matching 3.1s. Another fulcrum point quake way up here. All right, there's multiple fulcrums. There's one comes up like this, goes back down. This is right on the edge of it. This is right at the tip of it. And there's your 3 energy again. Remember, we were looking at 3s, 3.1s coming all through here. Made it all the way up to there. Come here. Now, this is what I love to see. Finally, some activity out here. 4.1 at the surface. This is good. This is relieving pressure at the surface without causing a tsunami or a bunch of damage. Meanwhile, we got a 4 here also down at 13, right on the plate boundary, just off of the fulcrum point right there. So that's good. That's more energy being released. 2.9 right here on the fulcrum point corner again. And then inside, okay, here's the plate. Now we're inside that with a 2.1 here. All 4 of these quakes right here just helped relieve a lot of this. Now, this is yesterday's readings. This map takes a day to put all this data together and produce such a pretty colorful map like this, right? So, hopefully tomorrow, when we look at this, we'll see a little diminishing of the coloration in this area because we just received, some decent quakes in there, and 4 and 4.0. That's a couple of 4s. That's not too bad. Hopefully we can see some results out of that one this time. All right, let's move back up to Washington here. Nothing along the volcanoes, just this out in the the foothills. Oh, hurt to yawn. How crazy is that? All right, caramba. All right, let's just get into the geysers are doing their job, thankfully. Little check, nothing. Something going on down here, though. 3. This is South Walker. Little activity going on out in that region out there. All right, let me take a little peek around here. What else needs to be checked? Here we go again on this almond teardrop type structure right here. Coming back around. Lots of quake activity again here at Malibu. On the shores here, rolling hills. Out in the water again by Carlsbad. Right here along Ensenada. So a lot of activity going on. And you can see this little cut that goes across. And then as it matches up with this, you see these little quakes going right along that area. It's doing its job. It's relieving pressure and small little microquakes like that. That's good. It keeps us from seeing a big 8.0 right there that would just, it's the last thing we need right now is more devastation. So 3.2 here in Texas. So 3 magnitude energy pushing up underneath Texas. Excuse me. Sorry. Nothing on the New Madrid, nothing on the Craton. And I do believe we are done there. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your patience, you guys. Not perfect form tonight. And I started early accidentally. And we are just still going to do it. All right, so here we go. Your volcano report now. 36 erupting. Just think about that for a second. 36 volcanoes currently erupting. Another 32 that are in warning. Okay, together there's 68 active volcanoes. And then there's another 24 at unrest that I don't even add into the equation because I'm trying to be conservative and not like overdo it with the estimates here. Here we go, October 3rd. What happened to my volcano day? All right, Manam still on the map again with 9,000 foot blast. IBU at 8,000 feet. Please cooperate. Thank you, Lord. All right. Luatobi, 10,000 feet. Tacono, 10,000 feet. Fuego, 15,000 feet. Nevada del Ruiz, still on the map. Sabancaya, just continuous ash emissions. It's just continuous now. It's not like one blow up and another one. It's just continuous now. And that's just in the last few minutes because here's today. Let's get into today. Time flies at this channel. This map is just, man, they should show that to Congress or to the American people. No, maybe not. Stromboli still going off here. With the National Institute of Geophysics reported that a new lava infusion began from the North Crater. Okay, new little wave of pressure comes in, new lava infusion begins. Tall over here in the Philippines, back on the map here. Philippines Institute of Volcano observed recorded 5 mild phreatic bursts. Okay, phreatic bursts still a little eruption. Luatobi, Semeru, 13,000. It's actually getting smaller in its height. It should be getting taller. We need more pressure come out of that. Fuego, nothing. Nevada, nothing. Songay. Sabancaya, 22,000. While I scroll through these, you can just look at these lists of insanity, but don't get desensitized to pure insanity. Cotopaxi, Dempo, Gamalama, these are all in warning. Warning, mind you. They're active and in warning. These are all ones that are just erupting all the time. Almost every day. It's craziness. And this is just on land. You take this 68 and double it, and then you got what's underwater. Whoops, I X'd out the wrong one. Then you got what's underwater, and then add this to the mix, the land one, the 68 back to what, 136? Yeah, 136 plus another 68. Yeah, you're over 200. Over 200 active volcanoes or erupting volcanoes on the planet right now. If I told you that 7 years ago, you would have said I'm crazy. And here we are, 7 years later, and I am just still crazy about you guys. And we have to pull it up this way now. So, tidbits. Where's my tidbits? There's some tidbits right there. Forecast models. All right, let's get into this really quick. Now, we do have geomagnetic storm enhancement midday the 4th to the 5th, right? So here we are, nighttime of the 2nd, current conditions, morning of the 3rd, noon, convection, and nighttime. Now here we start approaching the 4th. Hopefully it doesn't arrive early, or depending on what time it arrives. But here's the morning of the 4th. Here's noontime, about midday the 4th. So around here, you're going to start seeing geo enhancement or geomagnetic enhancement right to that. And then right there at convection. So right before this, you see this little spot that had flared up here in Alabama instead of dissipating here at convection, it might actually blossom a little bit harder. And I'd also watch this storm right here hitting the west coast, sneaking in the back door here, nobody paying attention. Enhancement to that right there could cause flooding along those mountains as well. Something we need to talk about is topographics too. If you live in a mountainous region with valleys and little chutes and canyons and stuff like that, you got to put all the surface area, the water that lands on the surface of those chutes and those canyons, and funnel it into one band that goes down the middle. So, with our higher precipitation values now, storms like this hitting just the mountains would be nothing normally. Now you could see flash flooding, mudslides, just like we saw out here. All storms have that potential here pretty soon. So between this time frame right here, any kind of enhancement to this, enhancement to that, we get into the morning of the 5th. They were still talking on the 5th here. G2. Okay, so we'll see if it continues to, trail along a little longer. It might hit a little later, and we might, still be seeing G2 to G3 on that day. So here we are at the 5th with possible enhancement to that. There's convection and nighttime. You see this big low up here spinning around these tight millibars and everything. It's not producing any severe weather, but you see in that time frame how it really gets organized on the 5th right here between the morning. The millibars are there, but not much moisture. Then it really gains strength and gets organized. If we're having geomagnetic enhancement at that time, this could be a little more organized than what they're showing there, and possibly have a little tail of severe weather dripping down. You see the arrow kind of dipping right here? That's where your air mass is kind of leading or draping down. So you might see a little bit of this moisture drape down. You might see severe weather in that part. And then also, don't get caught offshore here. This could possibly, bring stuff to the shoreline. But other than that, we're looking pretty clear right through that whole event. It's the convection of the 6th, nighttime the 6th, morning of the 7th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime, 9th, noon, convection, nighttime, 10. Look at this sneaking up here on Mexico. Noon of the 10th, morning, convection. It's nighttime of the 10th. Morning of the 11th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. 13, noon, convection, nighttime. 14, noon, convection, nighttime. 15. All right, that is way out into the future, but you see how this last storm winds up, gets organized here. You see this rotation right here, part of it peeling away and getting torn off, but watch how it circulates back around, comes back up north, gains strength again. Those kind of storms like that, not saying that that's going to happen, but that's a good example of what to watch out for out here on the East Coast. When you see these tight millibars and a low like that starting to form, watch it closely, because you see these severe bands that are out in front of it or just off to the side of it here. This linear, quasi-linear storm front right there. That could produce a lot of flash flooding and stuff up in Maine. Remember, we saw a lot of problems up in New Hampshire, Maine before. So I'll have to watch that time frame when we get around there. All right, that's it for the astrophysics, geophysics, and now let's do the metaphysics, or how you work. Yes, because we got tomorrow being, well, now it's October 3rd. So we need to kind of touch base with again here. With this will be my general here. I know you guys are getting rattled. Oh boy, did so many people discover that money is their god today. Yeah, they found out quite quickly who their god is. When banks went down, everybody went, and very few said, it's going to be okay. But it is going to be okay. Oh, it's going to be okay. We just got ads. There we go. So there's that one. And that was not what I came over here for. I got some instruments still running in the background or something here. There we go. Also, I want to bring you to this one really quick because the anniversary for this, a lot of anniversaries in September, okay? What's going to happen on the 4th is more than just an anniversary, it will be a birthday. So let's just cover that really quick here. And this is kind of where it all started for me here. Okay. Let's get into this part right here. I think it's coming up right there. All right. I'll play this for you for a second.
Okay, in this image here, you can see we're still in the garage with our same display right here. And this was actually captured the day before the other picture, but I haven't found it for years later until I was digging around through my old pictures and stuff and went even further back to see if I'd missed anything. And I captured this one. And we're going to zoom into this streak right up here.
Note this date up here. Can you see this up here? October 4th, 2017. Tomorrow's the 3rd. Well, it's already getting into the 3rd. So, day after tomorrow will be the 7-year birthday.
Here. Just bear with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose, here's the bottom jaw. She's smiling, she's looking down, and she's holding a baby. And here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head. Here's her arm cupped around like this, and she's holding the baby. Now, I'm going to run this through the filter real quick, and it's going to enhance it, but a little bit too much. See, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face, and her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her.
Wait, mine's out
And you can still make out the baby's head right here. And maybe if I pull back a little bit, there we go. And this was captured on October 4th. So this was about 11 days after the Revelation 12 sign. All this stuff started happening to me just prior to the Revelation 12 sign and then right after it. So it said the woman was about to give birth. Well, it looks like maybe she gave birth, and here's the little baby being caught up to God. Yeah, it's a lot better there. Hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better now than before.
Okay, so
we'll undo the filter real quick just so you can get the original. Now you can see the baby's head just a little bit better. You can make out his little ear.
Let's try going right there.
And then we'll put the filter back in again. And there we go.
All right, there's your Revelation 12 baby being born in my garage on October 4th of 2017. In less than 24 hours, it's going to be October 4th of 2024. That'll make 7-year-old baby now. Will be 7 years old on October 4th. All right, and then the following day, this wonderful event happened.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So I've been going through some of the old photos and running them through the filter, and this was one of the first ones that I had ever captured. And what's going on here is I'm here on my knees. I'm crying and screaming and praying, all three at once. I was in some extreme anguish. A paranormal traumatic event happened to me, something so unbelievable you guys wouldn't believe it. So if I told you, so I'm going to show you instead. So in this image here, I'm sitting here praying, and Mary's head appears right next to my head, and we're going to
This is
zoom
October
in on this.
5th.
You can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way. Let's see, there's pretty good. And you can make out her eye and her nose coming down, her shawl coming over, and it's in shadow right here. This is a shadow of the inside of her shawl going over her head like this. Here's her eye, her nose, her other eye would be on the other side there. Okay. You can't go in too tight on it. And then also is this white ball with an eye in it, this white orb with an eye in it. Okay, and that's not all, because over here in this corner up here is an angel, a silhouette of an angel with his wings spread, with his back to us, standing in a shaft of light. Here's his head. There's a glow over the head. The wings are extended, and there's a feather coming off. The last feather coming off is crossing over these brown roof tiles in the background here. And you can make out there's an angel right here, and you can even see his head right here.
Yeah, let me just full frame it now that you can see that angel and continue playing it.
I'm going a little bit tighter.
All right, there you go. Hopefully you can see these wings spread out like this. Okay, you can see the head right there. It's standing in a shaft of light right there. That's the spiritual
the
realm.
Angel with his back to us and his wings spread.
The real spiritual realm, not fake.
Yeah, you can see a lot better with the filter. Before it was really faint and it was hard to see. Same with this. This came out a little bit better here.
Okay, so all this stuff that started happening, well, this little baby right here was born October 4th. Today is October 3rd, and within 24 hours, that little entity will be 7 years old. Okay, so we got that. And actually, you know what? Let's just use this. It's a different one for reading. Okay, lots of crazy things happened to me ever since this started. And
you can clearly see Jesus' face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus' face and the lion face. Now, this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been compressed, each frame, and then put into a flip book. And you can clearly see Jesus' face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there.
Okay, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Yes, indeed. Okay, and we do this one too for.
Might tell us
There we
that
go.
this is, you know, an
right there. This is a real event. I don't know what other people think it could be AI generated or what, but when I see my own face, I know it's not AI generated, okay? Because this is my face. And it's after what's happened to me when this showed up out there, it wasn't surprising that the face that did show up is mine again, because it's showing up all over the place. And in the clouds out by the moon. If you'd look up, you might see my face in the clouds coming with power and great glory, like this, that we're getting to here. These are the still frames from the video you just saw, an hour-long event. I snapped a bunch of pictures while it was going on. These two right here I've just taken and rotated sideways so they're a little easier to see. But then you can see it starting to change into the lion face here. Meanwhile, there was other activity going on in a different part of the sky. And I'm taking pictures of that as well. You see this little face popping in there. See this little guy? These are all the images I took that day while I was just sitting there holding my arms up as long as I could. Okay, so let's do some reading here. I know you guys, I can sense you guys. I know exactly what happened today. And boy, did everybody's faith hit the floor. Not everybody's. Not here at this channel, but a lot of people, boy, they realize who they trust more than they trust their Savior. Very eye-opening day for me, at least. Very eye-opening day for the whole world, probably. Starting to, we're starting to get these reasons to worry, right? Well, I'm here to reassure you that you have victory already. Whatever happens,
folks,
does not
welcome back.
change
So some snap.
your victory here. I just want to get this zoomed in here. Really quick, right there is good. There's good right there. Because I want this part as clear as possible so you guys can see that. Never mind my face over here with the crown on it. It's this heart right here. That's what counts. It's like Superman pulling his shirt open when you got that big S on the Superman's chest. No, no, no. Here's your real Superman right here. Pulling open his shirt, exposing his chest and his heart, and out radiates this love that's generating images in the clouds, generating storms, generating a lot of things. Okay, so let's get into this because I had some stuff, some notes for you guys. Now, where was I? Okay, when you see this, keep trying to show this one a lot because this is your foundation. This is your rock, okay? This is what you fall back on and what you can build on, and you can also find security in, okay? Are you finding security in your banks these days? Probably not finding too much security in them, are you? But you can find your security in me. As the world you inhabit seems increasingly unsafe, turn your attention to me more and more often. Remember that I am with you at all times, and I have already won the ultimate victory. You said amen over there? I heard that. Yeah, I heard that, kitty. I know, I agree. I wish you could tell them. Back to where I was here. So I got this book light on my face, kind of like this right now. So, again, didn't find too much security in your government. Yeah, can't find too much security in your bank, but you can find your security in me. Your world is increasingly unsafe, so turn your attention to me more and more often and remember that I am with you now at all times, and I have already won the ultimate victory. And because I am in you and you are in me, you have an eternity of perfect
stress-free life awaiting you. There will be no trace of fear or worry in heaven. Reverential worship of the King of Glory will flood you with unimaginable joy. So let this future hope strengthen and encourage you while you're living in this deeply fallen world. Okay? Let this right here, let this future hope that you're looking at strengthen and encourage you. I'm showing you this now to strengthen and encourage you, to give you meat in due season. So when you start to feel anxious about something you've seen or heard or thought, bring that concern to me. Remind yourself that I am the one who makes you secure in all circumstances. So if you find your mind gravitating towards idolatrous ways of feeling safe, like your bank account, tell yourself that's not what makes me safe. Then look trustingly to me and think about who I am, the victorious Savior God who is your friend forever. And in me, you are absolutely secure. Okay? You're searching around for security. You came to the show tonight trying to find that, and here it is. You can find your security in me. God, the other thing. Well, where'd that go? Not that. Your security, your trust, your courage, your hope. Put your trust in me so you can discover my unfailing love shining on in the midst of your troubles. Oops, where'd it go? There we go. Put your trust, your security is in me. You can put your trust in me so you can discover my unfailing love shining on you in the midst of your troubles. And when you are struggling with discouragement, you need to assert your trust in me over and over and over again. It's vital to remember who I am, creator and sustainer. Creator and sustainer of the entire universe, as well as your Savior, Lord, and friend. You can count on me because my unfailing love for you is unfailing. It never runs out or grows dim, and it's not dependent on how well you are performing. Get that through your head. It's not dependent on how well you're performing. It's progress, not perfection. Just as I am the same yesterday, today, and forever, so is my perfect love. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, forever. So lift up your soul to me, waiting in my presence with no pretense and no demands. And as you dedicate time to waiting and worshiping, I gradually transform you and open up the way before you. Are you guys feeling transformed here a little bit? You starting to feel it? Are you getting the gist of how this show works? Lift up your soul to me, waiting in my presence with no pretense and demands, and dedicate time to worship, waiting and worshiping. While we're doing that, you're being gradually transformed and opened up. I will not necessarily reveal the future things to you, but I will show you the way through each day, which is step by step, moment by moment, salvaging your day.
So trust me wholeheartedly, because I am taking care of you wonderfully well. What's the other one you wanted to? Yeah, that's it right there. Cool. All right, we're gonna close with this one really quick here. What's to this one? No, not to that one. I guess we're doing it to this again. Yeah. Let me just scroll down a little bit more like that, and then darken a little bit so you can see this lower image a little bit better. Take the finger. Hopefully you can see these a little bit better. You can make out the crown a little bit better and stuff. A little clear. It's more for you. Okay, so we're going to close with this one. Now, you've put your trust in me. You are secure in me. And when tests and challenges come at you from all sides, consider that a joyful opportunity. Sounds crazy, huh? But you're being tested. So when tests and challenges come at you, we'll consider that a joyful opportunity, an opportunity to grow, right? So don't waste energy regretting the way things are or wishing you could go back to yesterday. And remember that I am sovereign, powerful, and loving. And I am with you to help. So instead of being overwhelmed by all the difficulties, grasp my hand with confident trust. And though you are insufficient to handle your troubles by yourself, you and I together can handle anything. I repeat, you and I together can handle anything. If you view your circumstances from this bigger picture perspective, you can be joyful even in the midst of your struggles, because you understand that your struggles are joyful opportunities. You have the big picture perspective, so you can be joyful in the midst of your struggles. Okay, the reason why is because you have not only my presence with you, but my spirit is within you. I am always ready to help. So seek my assistance as often as you need. And one of the hardest parts of dealing with multiple trials is waiting for the resolution. Huh? You guys are doing multiple trials, but the hardest part is waiting for the resolution, isn't it? So, since here, one of the hardest parts of dealing with multiple trials is waiting for the resolution. And since patience is part of the Spirit's fruit, I can help you endure the waiting. So don't try to get out of hard times prematurely. Instead, persevere patiently, knowing that perseverance must finish its work, making you mature and complete. And complete. I complete you, making you mature and complete. You have not only my presence with you, but my spirit within you. When tests and challenges come at you from all sides, you consider it a joyful opportunity. So don't waste energy regretting. Remember, I'm powerful, I'm sovereign, I'm here to help you. Okay, and if you're feeling insecure, find your security in me. Okay, when you see these images, this is the future hope. And that's the future hope that strengthens and encourages you while you're waiting in patient endurance. Okay, these are little future glimpses of your victory. So persevere, keep fighting on. All you got now in front of you are opportunities. Opportunities. Every circumstance is now an opportunity. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow from it. I'm telling you, I make all things new. You got to use these principles, these disciplines, and you will find your security in me. You will find your peace, your courage in me. You will you'll you'll just find that there's unfailing love there. Okay? And when you understand it's unfailing and I don't change, well, that's your foundation on which you can count on. Okay? Remember, I am in you and you are in me. You're here at this channel right now. You see this face in the clouds with the crown above it. That's my face in the clouds. That's my face in the clouds with a crown, which signifies power and great glory. This is me in the clouds coming with power and great glory. You're here at this channel. You're caught up in this. It's fascinating. It's like a good book or a good song. You get caught up in it, or a good movie. It takes you away from reality for a while. You get caught up with me in the clouds. I went ahead and made and prepared a special place where I could meet you in the air of cyberspace live on YouTube. Okay, I went ahead and designed a place where I am, you may be also here at this channel. This is the rapture right here. Okay, the word rapture and the term the rapture are not in the Bible. The rapture is not in the Bible. It says, when you see these things come to pass, look up. For your redemption, your Redeemer, draws nigh, is getting close. He's coming. So you see these things happen, look up. You'll see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. You'll be caught up with it. You'll be caught up in it like a good book. You guys are the ones that are technically raptured. You are complete. I complete you. I finish you and complete you. Your faith has gone into knowing now. Your trust is growing stronger and stronger because you know. You hear my voice. My sheep hear my voice. And if you hear my voice, well, then that must mean something. And if you see me there in the clouds and you hear my voice, that makes you something special. That makes you something special. Okay? This is here to help you. I am here to help you during this season when it's really hard. Okay? I've learned a lot of things through the years, and I'm taking what I've learned since this process started. I knew how important it was, so I tried to learn as much as I can so I can pass it on to you guys. And those of you who are using the tools are doing very well. And I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your success, for your ease of pain, for your sense of peace in these tumultuous times, okay? And if it's not working for you yet, keep trying until you get there. Don't leave before the miracle happens, okay? Sometimes it's little steps at a time. There's no baby steps in this process. Every step is huge. But some people do it at slower rates, faster rates. But just keep plugging. Just keep working. Keep salvaging your day. It's getting harder and harder to do it. The test keeps getting closer or, tougher and tougher as you get towards the end of it. The 7-year process, my last 7 years have been quite a an adventure, something I would attribute to a tribulation. I just went through 7 years of tribulation with nobody believing me. I've been sent off to jails, institutions, all kinds of different stuff because nobody would take 5 minutes. That's why I thank you at the beginning of the show for giving me a moment of your time because I couldn't get important people's time. People like judges, people like officers, people like doctors, the ones that count, the ones that could have, helped understand this process, but they didn't give me 5 minutes of their time. And what a shame, huh? Now that you guys have given some of your time and you see this image and you understand this process, don't you think that they really messed up by not listening to me for just a few minutes or giving me just a couple minutes of their time? Do you see how important that is? That you believe and trust and that you give me a couple moments of your time? Because when you do, all of a sudden miracles happen in your life because of who I am. I am indeed here. I am indeed back. And I am still to come. I love you all. I miss you all. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. You are caught up with me in the clouds. We met in the air of cyberspace here live on YouTube, where I went ahead and made a place where I am, you could be with me. See how this works? See how it was misinterpreted and taught the wrong way this whole time? Now, you are the ones who are the elite. You are the ones who are enlightened. You are the ones who are rich beyond measure. I love you all. I miss you all. Until my next show, I will be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell?